What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/EntitledParents. Now today, as you can tell by the title, our first story contains an entitled parent who claims to know the boss of a company, and therefore demands a discount when in reality, of course, they don't know the boss at all and they're just lying out of their behind. Before we jump into that though, if you are new around here, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to hit 600,000 by the end of 2020, and it's going to be very, very close. We are gaining subscribers at an alarming rate at the moment. Honestly, it's kind of concerning how many we're getting at the moment. But yeah, thanks for that. So if you are new, hit the button. If you don't like what you see, you can always unsubscribe later, and it would mean a lot to me anyway in the meantime. So yeah, on with the video. I know your boss, so I expect a discount. Has anyone ever worked for a company where the company name includes what seems to be someone's first name? Our family surname doubles as a first name. Most first names, surnames, have an S on the end, such as Andrews, Collins, Edwards, etc., but occasionally you get the ones without the S, such as psychic John Edward. We owned a breakdown towing service in Australia. A lot of people decided that they should get free towing or reduced rates. Our company name was our surname with an S followed by towing service. Let's use Philip, not our real name. Alright, so the company name would be Philip's Towing Service, I guess. Practically every week, I would get a phone call from someone saying that they were a friend of Philip's, and he had told them they could have a free tow, or a $10 tow. In Sydney, most basic towing starts around $60 for a tow around a corner. My response would be, "Which member of the Phillips family, sir?" It was always a male. They would say, "What do you mean? I know Philip." Philip is a surname, sir, and there are 4 members of the family who work in the business. Who are you friends with, sir? Click. Obviously, these people didn't care if the person who organised the tow got fired for not getting paid or not charging enough. They were entitled to use the service for free or for their decided amounts. When I was working as a receptionist, I had someone ring one day and tell me that they were my boss's doctor. I called my boss and said that there was someone on the phone who said he was the boss's doctor, and the boss told me to put the call through. It turned out to be someone who was selling timeshares, who had worked out a way of getting past a receptionist to their targets. After that, I asked the name so I could confirm who was actually calling. So you're telling me seriously that people would call up your business randomly, and because it happens to have the name Philip in the name of the business, they would say, "Oh yeah, I know a Philip. And he's told me that I can get a lovely discount off your towing service." Really? That sort of stuff actually goes on? Honestly, I reckon you know what I should do for like a cool video, a one-off? I should go and spend a day at like a cool service or somewhere where there are just normally loads of entitled customers. Maybe at a towing service like this. Maybe Philip's Towing Service. And just see what it's really like working in a place like this where, they have to deal with like stupid customers each and every day. You know what? Drop a like on this video, yeah? If this video gets 10,000 likes, I know it's a lot of likes, but 10,000, I will seriously consider making a video like that and putting, a lot of money into it, making like a proper production and making a video like that. And, me going off into the big old world and putting myself in the position of someone who has to deal with entitled people every day. Do you want to see it? Let me know. Now for our second post. Finally encountered a Karen and gave her what she deserved. Just got back from dinner where we had a run-in with a Karen. Staying in Port Douglas in North Queensland, and it is packed after months of COVID quietness. The Indian was quiet, so we decided to give them our cash and chose one of 2 tables out on the path under a big umbrella. It started to rain, so we moved the 2 of the 4 seats out of the rain, eating our starters when Karen arrived. We were trying to eat, but we could hear Karen's daughter, also a Karen, complaining that some of their seats were getting wet, and then she says something along the lines of, "You'd think these people behind us would move to make more room for us." In a really loud voice, the mother Karen said, "Some people have no self-awareness." I turned around and said, "If you're gonna say something about the table beside you, you possibly should be more discreet." She floored us all by saying, "I said it loud, so I'd hope you would hear, but I didn't want to interrupt you as you were eating." What the actual F? I said, if you wanted us to move, all you needed to do was ask. We were sat where we were, at our table for 4, to get out of the rain. There's far more polite ways to ask than be blatantly rude. She was gobsmacked. Maybe she hasn't ever been called out. Her husband just sat there silently. Daughter Karen, the same. Then, the rest of the equally obnoxious family turned up, and they sat there having loud, childish clapping games. Talk about not being self-aware. We asked for takeaway containers and left. That she was an English expat Karen just made it worse, or better. Typical bleached blonde gold jewellery, white linen and sandals. two daughters the same. The perfect port D/UK expat stereotypes. The dad was just as bad. They all enjoyed his story of sitting at airports with his legs stretched out in front of him so that the other idiots had to step over them. Sorry for the rant. OP? Sorry, why does the Karen being English make it better or worse? Have you got something against English people? Because if you do, I'm angry at that. Overall, yeah, pretty great family. You have to say, right? Obnoxious, entitled, selfish, unaware, ignorant, perhaps. A few words you could use to describe not just me, but this family as well. Yeah, what is wrong with English people, man? Come on, tell me. I think we're right, you know? But seriously, if you've got a problem, comment down below, like the video. Let's move on to the next story. Now moving on to our final story, he didn't show his badge. It was 1968, and I was known for having trained my German Shepherd extremely well. On this particular day, I had one of the neighbourhood boys come to my home to help me out with yard work. He was a very nice young man, and polite to the nth degree. After finishing the raking, I had him come in for something to eat and drink. As we sat and talked about the next day's work, a knock came at the door. I answered to see two men, who demanded, "We came to pick up Earl for questioning." To take Earl to the police station for questioning without showing some kind of warrant was a red flag in my book. Earl was only 15, and I refused by saying I will bring Earl home and have his mother bring him there. They tried to push their way in, but my dog interceded with a nasty growl and showed her teeth. They backed off and left. This is not the end of the story. I brought Earl home and told his mother what happened. She told me Earl had delivered papers and one of the clients accused him of breaking into her home. This had happened during the time Earl was in school, and his mum verified it with the teachers after this woman had made this accusation. The woman insisted though it was Earl, and she had a friend who was on the police force and would have him put in jail. I went home after leaving Earl's home and decided to walk over to see my mum, who lived 2 streets away. As I crossed one road, a man hastily came up to me and said, "You are coming with me," as he grabbed my arm. Now mind you, I never went many places alone without my dog, who was only a short distance from me. I yelled for my dog to get him, and she latched onto his arm, seriously biting him, and he let go. He then drew a gun and attempted to shoot my dog. I grabbed her up and ran with her to my mother's house as quickly as I could. The man left in his car. Later, I found out this man was a detective and needed stitches from the bite. He was deemed at fault as he didn't show his badge. Lucky us. Not really sure how you're the lucky one in this situation, OP. I mean, it's literally his job to show his badge. That's like the first level, common sense of being an officer or a detective or whatever. In a position of power, you got to be ready to show your badge. You got to be ready to show some form of credentials so that people can actually, identify you and say, yeah, you seem credible, man. You work as a detective. How could he not show his badge there? It's like 101 of being a detective, that you get ready to show your badge and say your name. I'm Detective Blank. Surely. Am I being silly there? I don't think so. So yeah, I guess overall you were kind of lucky, but in many ways it was the detective's fault for not saying who he really was, not properly identifying himself. And anyway, Earl, what a lovely name for a 15-year-old, by the way, I must say. If any of you are called Earl, let me know. What a name. Earl had a good alibi. He was in school, so it can't possibly have been him. So realistically, none of this was lucky. You know what was lucky though? And I give you this. Having a dog that can attack people. What a weapon to have up your sleeve. If I could walk around with a snake that would attack people, if you don't know guys, I do have a snake. I'm going to insert some footage right here of me with Marty. Marty, you need to be sensible now, because you're now going behind my back. Okay, now he's on my head. Oh, what a lovely bandana this is. He just does what he wants, this lad. Always has done, always will. He's quite old now, actually. How old is he? 15-ish? And yeah, I mean, he just does what he wants. Let me put him on my neck so he's a bit more comfortable. There we go. There we go. Get your body around there, lad. And there we go. This is him. The young Mart. Well, he's quite old now, really, but I do apologise for this, by the way. Imagine me, right, going on a walk with this boy, and someone comes up to me and says, you know what, mate, you're under arrest. And I just say, you know what, no, Marty, attack. And he just goes and eats him. Would be pretty nuts, wouldn't it? What a superpower that is, to have an animal that will protect you. I'm not going to lie. One of the benefits of having a dog, I guess. Anyway, not luck, more just skill, I would say, in choosing a great pet. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you want more right away, check out this playlist of all my Entitled Parents videos right here. If you are new to my channel, I'd massively appreciate you subscribing by clicking this button. It's a lovely button. Caress it with your finger. And finally, if you would like some lovely Redditor merch from me, I'm wearing it right now. I wear it in almost every video. It's so comfy, and that is down here as well. All right, guys, see you later with a brand new upload.